Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about something that recently been in the news. Donald Trump wants to bomb Mexico. Bomb. Like go in there after the cartels and drop bombs on them. Now, there's a lot of people that feel this is not a good idea, but I guess Donald Trump seems to be on a killing spree these days. He's still talking about taking the people of Iran out. He's still babbling about that. But now he got his sights on Mexico. Now, I know this came up, I believe, like back in 2025, and the president of Mexico, Sheinbaum, she was not having it. She told him no. But look like the subject matter is coming up again, and Donald Trump wants to fly some fighter jets in there and just bomb them, I guess, in locations. I'm leery about that because Donald Trump may think he pinpoint where they are, and he'll end up taking out a bunch of civilians and hardly touch the cartel. That's the problem. We have seen Donald Trump make some major mistakes, just like that school that was taken out. So I don't trust his judgment on this. I think they're going to go on some intelligence on where they're located, and they may not be there at all. That's how I see it. I don't see this as a good thing. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started. Okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
We have some major breaking news right now. Donald Trump is preparing for a soft invasion of Mexico, per latest reporting from Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone is suggesting that Donald Trump's advisors would like to put boots on the ground, American boots on the ground in Mexico to target the cartels in Mexico. And according to a senior Trump advisor quoted by Rolling Stone, it's not a matter of whether or not they will do this quote unquote soft invasion, it's by how much. And the soft invasion could include anything from drone strikes on cartel infrastructure to putting in place quote unquote kill teams to go and target cartel leaders on Mexican soil. Now, it's not unprecedented to have DEA agents in Mexico for cartel related operations, but this type of operation that Rolling Stone is talking about is much bigger. And I'm sure the Mexican government is not going to be too fond of it if that were to occur, especially given the current posture between the United States and Mexico, with Donald Trump proposing 25% tariffs on all Mexican goods. In any event, comment below your thoughts, spread the word, follow along for all the news you need to know about, and feel free to go.
States is going to start bombing Mexico. He does not use hypothetical language. He does not suggest that this is a mere thought experiment. It is not. Some people are saying. He says we are now going to start hitting land in Mexico with regard to the cartels. But we're going to start going into Mexico and hitting land.
And we are going to start now hitting land with regard to the cartels. The cartels are running Mexico. It's very, very sad to watch and see what's happened to that country, but the cartels are running and they're killing 250, 300,000 people in our country every single year. the drugs. It's horrible. It's devastated families. You know, you lose a child or a parent. I mean, parents are dying too with drugs.
There's sort of like a few overarching elements to this. First of all, the legality. In the normal world order, you don't just get to bomb a sovereign country because you feel like it. Mexico is not an enemy state. There's no declaration of war. There's no authorization for the use of military force. There's no congressional approval. And just saying cartels, that doesn't magically make the entire thing legal. If the standard is criminal organizations operate there, that describes half the planet. That doesn't mean that the United States would be justified in starting to bomb. Now,
The cartels are running Mexico. It's very, very sad to watch and see what's happened to that country. But the cartels are running and they're killing 250, 300,000 people in our country every single year. The drugs, it's horrible. It's devastated families. You know, you lose a child or a parent. I mean, parents are dying too with drugs.
You know, we've talked about the difficulty of when you say, where is the headquarters of Antifa? Because it is really not an organization. It's this free form, you know, kind of loose thing. We've talked about the difficulties of fighting Hamas in Gaza, because you're talking about a population that is intermixed with civilians just in random buildings and the difficulty of it. How are you going to bomb cartels? How do you know who are the members of cartels for the purposes of bombing? But that's only like a mere technical detail. There's sort of like a few overarching elements to this. First of all, the legality. In the normal world order,
Donald Trump just said casually that we're going to start dropping bombs in Mexico. He didn't mince words. He didn't say maybe. He said we are going to start hitting the Mexico by land in regard to the cartels. Now, I have a Mexican friend that I asked. She came from Mexico. She lives here now. She's a citizen here now, but she moved here when she was 22, I think. And I asked her, you know, how she feels about this whole thing. And surprisingly, she was into the idea. Now, she's referring to tactical strikes. She lost her dad. She came from a very small village. The cartels took over her village, and her dad owned the biggest business. It was a butcher business, but the biggest business in the village. And that's a very small business. Doesn't mean he was a super wealthy man, but they killed him, her dad, to make a point. And then her boyfriend died, and a bunch of people died that she loves and cares about. And she said, this is very common in Mexico. She goes, when you go outside of the very, very tourist areas, the cartel pretty much owns everything. And the government refuses to do anything about it, including the current president, Claudia Sheinbaum, who I thought was a total badass. And she said, no. She said, the party that Claudia belongs to is similar to the Republican Party, where they just let the people get away with anything they want. Like our Republicans let the corporations get away with everything they want. Claudia's party lets the cartels get away with everything they want. So she's referring to the military coming in and doing tactical strikes, because if we just start bombing cartels, what we're going to be doing is bombing civilians. So we can't just go in there and bomb civilians and kill a bunch of people. Not to mention the cartels are like the mob. They're not going to, you know, form up in a formation, get a battalion going, and then go to traditional combat. No, they're going to kidnap Americans, journalists, that children and women, and they're going to use them and murder them and hold them hostage and torture them. And this is what the cartel does. So while I'm conflicted and I would like to see the people of Mexico liberated and have a better, brighter future, throwing bombs at the situation isn't the answer. And I'm saying this now because what we're going to see is him do this. He doesn't mince words. He does whatever he wants to do. This doesn't have congressional approval. He probably won't ask for it. We'll find out, but I doubt it. And he's going to do this anyway. And when he does, I want to be clear and on the record that just bombing the cartel is not the answer. It's going to kill civilians. It's not going to be good for the world order. It's not going to be good for the United States. Not to mention Mexico is one of our largest trade partners. What happens when we don't have one of our largest trade partners anymore? Our economy gets hurt pretty badly. Anyway, these are my opinions, my thoughts. My name is Kyle. I'm running for Congress in the 2nd District of Connecticut. Please go to my website, kylegauk.com. And as always, if you made it this far, thank you. I love you. And we'll definitely talk soon.
The United States government will do whatever is necessary to defend our national security and to protect the safety of the American people. No, look, it's coming through Mexico. And I like the president very much. She's a very good person. She's got a beautiful voice, a beautiful woman, but beautiful voice. President. I said, let me eradicate the cartels. No, please, President. We have to eradicate them. We have to knock the hell out of them because they're getting worse. They're taking over that country. The cartels are running Mexico. We can't have that. Too close to us, too close to you. But everything comes in through Mexico, mostly. At the same time, all of us must recommit to ensuring that law and order within our own nations, and that includes showing zero tolerance for the gang activity, tremendous gang activity in Venezuela. That's in much better shape than it ever has been. We've developed a great relationship in Venezuela. The savages who murder and rape with impunity must be permanently removed from society. We must not allow our criminal justice systems to be corrupted so that they protect these criminals and animals at the expense of your people. And for some reason, all over the world, this is a region that has problems that other regions don't have. They have different problems, but they don't have this problem. The United States last year, we achieved the largest drop in murder rate in recorded history. We have the lowest murder rate in 100.
We have some breaking news right now. The Trump administration is considering drone strikes in Mexico on drug cartels. That would be an attack on a sovereign country, right? That would be technically war with Mexico because we're launching drone strikes on Mexican territory. Now, Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, is rejecting any notion that she would give permission for the United States to conduct unilateral drone strikes on Mexican territory. What the United States is considering, according to NBC News, is literally attacking a sovereign nation, being Mexico. This would be a significant escalation. And if Trump does this, it would set the precedent that the United States could theoretically drone strike any country so long as it wants to, so long as it furthers America's national interest. And the idea of borders would kind of get thrown out the window. I'll do a full breakdown of what this all means on my Substack, so be sure to subscribe for free at the link in my bio and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come, I'm sure, soon.
All right, y'all. Sorry about that. My PC froze. It froze, but I'm okay now. So, y'all, this is just not a good idea. But, Donald Trump is going to do whatever the hell he wants. We already know that. But this is not a good idea. I think you put a population in danger just going in there, bombing down on, you could be bombing a village with, people living there and they have nothing to do with a drug cartel. But he's just too reckless. But, more and more people are talking about that 25th Amendment and they want to get Donald Trump out of there. But in all reality, y'all, I don't believe they're going to do anything to Donald Trump. That's just my opinion. I've been hearing that over the last few weeks. Oh, they're going to invoke the 25th. No, they're not. They're going to sit there and watch this man continue to act a fool out of himself. They ain't going to do nothing. Congress and Senate, they ain't about shit, and they're not about to challenge Donald Trump on anything. They're going to avoid it. So I don't think he's going anywhere, unfortunately. Yeah. So we'll see if this actually happens. The chatter has been out there for the last few days. So let's see if it actually will happen. If he's going to, fly in a couple of military people or use drones. Drones can also be used to eliminate the drug cartels, but, they're militarized. Their drug cartel is equipped like an army. So good luck. Mm-hmm. Uh, so, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I got a couple of more lives coming up, and Iran, there was somebody that went on, they were on YouTube, and they went by the name Mr. Explosive. Well, Mr. Explosive is the one that have been putting out those Lego AI videos for Iran. Well, YouTube just took the channel down, and they're claiming the Legos were videos were violent. I just think that is real pricey coming from these folks, but that's what they're saying. The Lego videos were violent. So I'm willing to bet somebody told them to take it down and they're just complying and they took it down. But that's what they're claiming, Legos being violent. So anyway, the next one is, I don't know if y'all know, but Ghana was on fire. Remember, their president came here to lay a wreath at the a slave cemetery up in New York, and I reported on a flood that hit them shortly after returning to Ghana. Well, now there has been a fire that took out buildings and people's homes over there. So we will talk about that at 3:45. Well, yeah, a lot of people, dark skinned brother, are saying exactly what you're saying, that it was too much truth in there. They were calling out not only Donald Trump, but Pete Hegseth, and and they had also Netanyahu in there, and we know they had Donald Trump, and yeah, they did not like it. And you know what, y'all? They are mocking Melania online, and they are calling her Epstein Queen. That's their new nickname they have for Melania online, Epstein Queen. So, people, in fact, Iran, before YouTube took it down, they also did one on Melania. They did one. But, it may not be over here on YouTube anymore, but it certainly is still over on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Epstein Queen. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you for coming, and I will see you at 1:45 for my next live. Shalom, family.